Hi everybody, so I've been pottering in the garden today doing the weeding, and I'm uploading some pictures and information of the weeds that grow well in mine. There are four types of weeds really. There are ephemeral weeds they can mature within 3 to 4 weeks, and so they'll turn up and they'll mature and set seed and carry on, and you'll never get on top of them. And then you have annual weeds, which germinate and mature and set seed all within one growing season. Then you have biennials, which grow and mature over 2 growing seasons. And then you have perennials, which store sugars and starches in a big juicy taproot so they can survive winters, and they'll pop up each year in the same place. Now, the way to get rid of weeds, if you want to get rid of weeds, I never use chemicals in the garden, so I usually use a long-handled hoe. And you have to think of a hoe as basically a knife on a stick. It needs to be really sharp, because the point is that it's going to cut the weed and leave it on the surface and damage the stem and the sugar flow. If you do it on a nice hot sunny day, you can literally just leave them where they are, especially annual weeds and ephemeral weeds, and they will all dry up, shrivel away, and just add to the compost in the organic matter within your soil. Bigger perennial weeds like dandelions and groundsel and dock, you need to dig those out and you need to get rid of them. Don't put them on your compost heap because they can regenerate. Things like ground elder and creeping buttercup that travel by root and spread by root, get rid of them as well, because you'll never be able to get rid of the whole plant, and within a compost heap you can actually continue to support its growth so it can reach maturity in the heat of a compost heap. What you can do with weeds is collect them all. If they're not small enough to crisp out on a sunny day, collect them all, put them in a big bucket of water, and after a week or so they'll be so soggy and rotten you can then add them to the compost heap, and that will return the goodness to the soil. Now, the other thing, if you are weeding, is to just be careful. Always be sure that what you're taking out is a weed, because the last thing you want to do is dig something up and then it turns out it was something precious. And also watch out for weeds like bindweed and potentilla that can kind of attach themselves to the roots of the plants that you like, and just go easy. Don't take it too hard if you're not trying to look for a perfect patch. Many of the wildflowers / weeds are really helpful to a creature or another, and so what can be a better way of handling things, is if you let things flower and then just make sure you get rid of them before they set seed, and that will give you pleasure. It will sort out the little creatures in your garden, but it also stops you having the work next year. Some weeds, you can find that the more you dig them out, the more you fracture the roots, and the plant continues to regenerate in more and more significant numbers. But if you can avoid chemical use, I think it's a better way of gardening. Okay, have a look at the pictures. Let me know if you've got anything growing in your garden that you're not sure of, whether you should keep or whether you should get rid of it. And I'll see you soon.